Hi, I'm Dick Wagner. You're watching the Musicians Network. Stay tuned. My name is Dick Wagner. I'm a guitarist. I'm a musician who is enjoying NAMM. This is the first time I've been here in about 25 years. This is my first trip back. It's immense. It's huge. I'm loving it though. Only Women Bleed was a song that I wrote with Alice Cooper in 1975, but I had actually written the music for it in 1968. It was a ballad that had different lyrics, and I didn't like them much, so I didn't really do anything with it. And I played it for Alice, and he loved the song, but he said he hated the lyrics, so we were in agreement. And we were at his house in Laurel Canyon, and we went into the living room and sat down with that music, and in about 25 minutes we had written the song. Alice had the title, Only Women Bleed, and it was to be a song about domestic violence. I think it was the first song that at least I knew, dealing with domestic violence. And so we recorded it. That was 1975, and it became a huge hit, and it's been recorded by like 25 or 28, I'm not sure the number, different artists. So it's one of those things where the royalties from Only Women Bleed, they keep coming in every month, and so I don't have to do much more than that. But I'm a songwriter by happenstance or by talent or whatever it is. And so I've written a lot more, and this album that you were holding are a bunch of my songs that I recorded in the 1970s. I'm very proud of Only Women Bleed, of course, but in fact it inspired the title of my book. I have a book that is released, and actually last week was #1 at Amazon.com on the hottest new releases. I won't say it's out of 1 million books, it didn't go #1, but it did go to like 11,000 out of 1 million. So that's not too bad. It's going very well. It's called Not Only Women Bleed. And it's really a story of, it's in vignettes. It's like in separate stories of things that have happened during my career and my life to bring me to this NAMM show today. So it's really, it's like an autobiography, but it's not in a form where you have to start at the beginning and read to the end to get it. You can start anywhere in this book if you want to just pick up on chapters. There's a whole list of what the titles of these chapters are, and you can just click on one and you can go read that and you go back and read the next one, however you want to do it. It's a very easy read. It's a Kindle book, but if you go to Amazon.com to buy it, it's $9.99, by the way. It's not that expensive. You can download free a Kindle for PC, so you don't even have to buy a Kindle. You can just read it online on your computer. It talks about all of my collaborations, really. Talks about the years with Lou Reed and touring Europe and coming back to America and doing the Rock and Roll Animal album live at the Brooklyn Academy of Music, which was like just a fantastic band. And I talk about, you know, the first day we played together, how just from the first note, it was such a sensational band. I knew it was going to be something big, and we rehearsed for 2 weeks. We went to Europe, we played a tour, came back to the States, played some dates, and then cut that live album, Rock and Roll Animal, which is pretty legendary as far as live recordings go. And me and Steve Hunter, you know, the principal guitar players, and that's how the legend was made, you know. So it talks about all of those different phases, you know, from the early days with the group I had in Detroit called the Frost, and Ursa Major, and Lou Reed, and Alice Cooper, and Tim Curry, and geez, I don't know. If you were to go to my website, you could look at a discography that's about 3 or 4 pages long of stuff that I've done. I can't even begin to remember it all if I just try to reel it off here, but It's wagnermusic.com if you want to check me out and check out all of my past accomplishments. It's all there. I wrote a song for Alice Cooper. They called me. They were doing this new Welcome to My Nightmare, the new album, and they called me to be part of it. But at that time, I was very ill. I had just when they started the album, I was very ill. I had a heart attack and a stroke, and my arm was paralyzed, and my left arm, and I was just trying to work back to being able to play again. And so they said, well, then can you give us a song? They wanted another Only Women Bleed. And I said, oh, sure, I'll just conjure that up tonight. But I did have a song that I had written, and so I sent it down to them, and they loved it, and they recorded it, and it's absolutely beautiful recording of it. It's called Something to Remember Me By. It's another Alice Cooper, Dick Wagner ballad. Very beautiful. I mean, I hope you take a listen to Alice's album and check out that song. You know, I love collaborations, I always have, and I've done a lot of co-writing and playing for people, and you know, being a studio guitar player for years. So I'm open to collaborate with just about anybody. You know, you want to make a record? I'll play guitar. My ex-wife, I was married once, twice, whatever, called me. I was living in New York, and she asked me if I would write a song about child abuse, and I said, sure, I'll give it a try. And then I started thinking about it. I said, how am I going to do this? But I came up with an idea, and I wrote this song called Remember the Child, which got discovered by John Bradshaw, who is a noted lecturer on the inner child, and he's a professor, he's a lecturer, he's just a brilliant man. And he took the recording that I had of that song and used it as the theme song for an Emmy award-winning PBS series called Homecoming. So that song, Remember the Child, has been so influential. I mean, psychiatrists and therapists use it all over the country to evoke feelings in their patients. It's just one of those things that just came out of nowhere, and you know, it's been really moved people. So that's one of my proudest achievements as far as songs go. Yeah, that's beyond the rock and roll business. I mean, so I've been very proud of that song and the effects that it's had. And other songs, geez, I don't know. I've had a few top 10 records, so I'm kind of proud of each one of them. They're like my little babies, you know. But I don't credit myself so much. They just kind of, my songs just sort of come to me. I don't know what it is, because I sit and I create a mood and just let that influence me, and I say what I have to say. It's almost like writing a book. You have to speak in your own voice, and you have to, you know, and then it shapes up into something, and people either like your style or they don't. Same with a song, you know. Well, I have just booked a tour of Canada this summer. I'm doing like 6 or 7 different blues festivals. I booked, right now I've got 3 or 4 dates in the Midwest around Detroit, including Detroit and Cleveland. And so I'm going to be doing the Midwest and Canada, and then I'm hoping to go to Europe after that. Well, I mean, the most fundamental advice is obviously to follow your own muse, write the music that you want to write. Don't try to follow trends, and because the thing is, if you write a song to try to fit in today's market, you're always at least 9 months behind. I mean, no matter what you do, it's stuff that you're copying, things that have already been done. So you want to just find a way to search yourself and come up with the thoughts and the musical thoughts that are you, and let that develop. I mean, over a period of time, you're going to develop a style, you're going to develop an attitude. It's all going to come to you, but just trying to copy and be current, and it's not going to work that way. You have to really be true to yourself. And that's, I mean, you practice it. You got to always be, for instance, for songwriting, I do songwriting seminars sometimes. And I tell the students that you have to write songs at least 2 hours every day. I mean, without fail. It has to be an everyday thing because you can't be a writer unless you write. You have to just be doing it. And if you spend 2 hours, even if you don't feel like writing, something will come of it. You know, it may not be the end all, but something good is going to come of it. And if nothing else, it's teaching you more and more about how to write a song. That's my basic advice. Just be true to yourself and work at it every day.